What's up, everybody? Thanks for taking a couple minutes to check out my channel. It is the 24th of July. Let me get this light turned on here, and I'm slowly getting some trapping stuff ready. I got a few buckets of wax dirt left. I think I got like 8 buckets of wax dirt. I've got a sort of a half a mess here, but I'm not making any more wax dirt this year. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. But I'm hoping that gets me through. But if I use all that, that means I'm doing a lot of trapping, really. I'm going through all my drags. I'm going to try to use more drags this year, and that'll help from pounding a lot of steaks, which will help my shoulder some. It's coming along really well, though. I mean, I've gone to therapy for a long time, but it's getting quite a bit better. But I don't want to beat the crap out of it yet. I got a few traps I'm going to wax and dye, but I got some here that they just don't need wax and dye again. Some of them haven't seen the dirt, and some of them, that's all they did was set in some wax dirt. So I'm not going to re-wax and re-dye some of these traps that had nothing going on with them. I got some more drags here I got to go through. And what else? I'm going to try to use, I've used peat moss in the past. I mean, that was the first thing that I ever used for trying to battle freeze-thaw conditions before I used wax dirt. And then I started using wax dirt, and it worked really well, so I just stuck with that. But I ended up using wax dirt even when it was just really wet and I couldn't get any dirt. But I'm going to try to use some more peat moss. I got a box here. It's really nice and bone dry. This box is about half or 2/3 full. I think I don't know what you call this, a bale or whatever. A bale or whatever. A bundle of this right now, I think that's about 22 bucks. That was more than, I think it was like 15 the last time I bought it. But I got a bunch of peat moss really dried out, so I'm going to use that early in the season and maybe try to mix it in with some of my wax dirt. Put some peat moss in the center and wax dirt underneath and wax dirt on top. Hopefully use it just sort of like a filler. We'll see how that works. I don't think there's anything else in here. Side by side, just did some maintenance on it too, oil change and stuff. I've got my brother and two of my brother-in-laws helped me almost fill my wood shed back up. I got to thank them a lot because there's no way I could split firewood this year. But that should be enough firewood to get me through the winter anyways. Up here in my other shed, see what's going on. Trying to plant some grass too. What else? Oh, I got working on some headers for a house that I still want to build. I might make a separate video of that, building some headers. But in here, I'm getting some buckets organized for on the line, just set making buckets and stuff. I'll get them organized a little more. And I'm working on some of my screen pan covers, trying something a little bit different. I don't know, this is just something new that I'm trying. These are my molds that I was using, and this size worked pretty well for like 550s and for like 1 3/4 traps, the small round traps. Then for the like number 2 dogless traps with the bigger pans, I was using this size right here. But I tried, these are a little bit bigger, and I was making them to fit number 2 bridger completely on the inside. I'll set one of these traps and show how this works. Well, I'm able to set a trap with my hands now anyways. So my other cover, they almost filled the inside. I was making these so they would fill the whole entire inside of the actual trap jaws. And I'm not sure if this will be any more effective than the ones I was using. Is it the best thing to use? I don't know. I mean, right now, these have been the most effective thing that I have used. Will I change later? Possibly. I try not to say things, this is the best of anything, because there's always something can always come up that's better. Something might work for one person that doesn't work for another person in their situation that they're dealing with. So this is just what I've come up with by watching other people's videos and by reading stuff and getting tips from other guys. So this works really well for me right now. Will I use these ones that fill in the whole inside? I'm not sure, but I'm going to make a few more These are pretty simple to make. Pretty much it doesn't matter what size you use, what size trap you use. You can just trace the inside of it, cut a piece of plywood out. This is 3/8, I think. Like 3/8, a ½ inch usually works. This screen, a lot of people use like the stiff steel screen, which is good, but this is aluminum screen and it's really stiff. I've said this before. I got this out of some old Anderson windows that I replaced. Pretty much I just cut a hunk of screen that's a little bit bigger, maybe a ½ inch or an inch bigger than the entire thing. If I was running tons of traps, I would definitely change my method of making these. I just come out here and tinker around and make these things right now. That's going to be the actual cover, and then this is going to finish off like the envelope part here. I just make it a little less than the width of the actual trap. Staple that to the underside of it, a few staples. Of course, when I make a video, I run out of staples. If my wife finds out where all her staples went, she probably won't be happy. And that's where the actual pan will slide into, right into there. That's the underneath, so it faces up for me. Smack that in there. And then I just trim off the edges. And then for the number 2 bridgers, I need to cut a notch to go around that dogless pan. That's just so it slips over there once you put it over top the trap. And that's all there is to making those things, really. I'm not sure if I'm going to like these ones that completely cover the inside. I don't know. It takes a little bit more screen to start with, and I don't know if it's going to make that big of a change, but I'm going to give it a go. You don't know if something's going to work until you actually get it on your line and try it. And anything I show you, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work for you, but like I said, get it out there and give it a try. What else? Yeah, these are the smaller ones. These work on like the 1 3/4 and stuff. They just got a small notch to go over top the dog, and it works. They work pretty slick, really. Like if I was making hundreds of these things, if I was running 100 traps, I'd have like an assembly line. I would cut a couple hundred squares out, then I would staple on all the pieces in one step, and then I would form them all. I just come out and make a few here and there, but you could make a pile of these quickly if you had a good system set up. That's about it for the trapping stuff right now. Heck, in about 3 months, we'll be setting some traps in Pennsylvania. Maybe about 3 months and a week, I'll have some furs hanging in there. Who knows? So, hope to see you all on the line, and hope you all have a good rest of the summer. Stay safe, everybody.